So first we will see the forces on submerged horizontal plane surface. As you can see from the figure, there is a tank containing a liquid, most commonly water, like a stick is water, and there is a horizontal surface at the bottom of the vessel or tank having area A, the horizontal area A. Forces acting vertically downwards on the plane surface by the liquid. So when we go deep in a liquid, you know that the pressure increases. As a result of that increase in pressure, an equivalent amount of force will be acted by the liquid on the top of this horizontal plane surface. So that pressure is quantified as rho gh, where h is the height of the liquid column, g is acceleration due to gravity, rho is the density of the liquid. Okay, density of the liquid. Fine. The force is equal to pressure multiplied by the area of this horizontal surface. So because we are considering how much force is acting on this particular area of this horizontal surface. So pressure at this particular point, since it is a very thin horizontal surface, the point at the center of this thickness or on the top or bottom will be the same. So force acted upon by the liquid on top of this horizontal surface is equal to rho gh. Right? So center of pressure is equal to center of gravity. So center of gravity, you know that it is the point at which the entire mass of the surface is concentrated. So this F given by this equation is the total pressure. You studied what is total pressure and what is center of pressure, right? Total pressure is the force acted upon by the fluid or liquid on the plane surface, right? So here the weight of the fluid, due to the weight of the fluid, how much pressure is acting on a particular area, that is the force. And the center of pressure here is the point of application of that total pressure. Point of application of total pressure is the center of pressure. So here the center of pressure will be the center of gravity of the surface, the same point. So which is roughly equivalent to H itself, and it's the center of pressure, right? So horizontal plane surface, it is very simple to evaluate the total pressure F. Total pressure is denoted by capital F. It is not P. That total pressure is denoted by capital F, rho gh. I hope it is clear, right? Also please note that this triangle always represents the free liquid surface. Okay, in any diagram in fluid mechanics, this triangle represents the free surface. Now let us consider submerged vertical plane surface. So there is a vertical plane surface which is immersed in a liquid. The cross-sectional view of that vertical plane surface is shown here within this arbitrary shape. You can see a small strip of height dy is taken for analysis, and different things are marked here. This is a free surface. Y is the distance, vertical distance of the strip from the free surface. Yg is the distance of center of gravity of the strip from the free surface. Yp is the distance of center of pressure from the vertical free surface. I mean free vertical distance from the free surface, right? We don't know whether Cp is above Cg or below Cg. Approximately we have marked just to demarcate from Yg. Yp is marked here. Fine. B is the width of the strip. Okay. So let us first find out the total pressure F. So for the elemental force on the small strip, dF is equal to pressure into dA. Right? Pressure into area of the small strip. dA is the area of the strip. So where dA is equal to B into dy. dA is equal to B into dy. B is the width and dy is the height or thickness, which is the elemental area of this small strip. Now if you integrate this force dF over this entire surface cross section, you will get the total force or the total pressure, right? So integral dF is equal to rho g into integral y dA, where P is equal to rho gh. You know, P is equal to rho gh, right? Here h is replaced by y because the distance of the strip from the vertical free surface, or pressure acted upon by the liquid just on top of the strip, which is rho g into y, right? Since rho and g are constants, density of the liquid and acceleration due to gravity are constants, we can take those things outside of the integral sign. So rho g integral y dA, fine, rho g into integral y dA, where dA is dy into b. When you substitute this, you will get integral dF is equal to rho g into integral y into b dy. But integral y dA, integral y into dA, y is the distance of the strip from the free surface, dA is the elemental area of this strip. It is the first moment of area about the liquid surface. You might have studied all these things in your school physics. First moment of area, y integral y dA is the first moment of area about the liquid surface. Hence, we can write integral b into y dy, that is integral y dA is replaced by integral y into dy into b. Fine, y into dy into b, which is equal to integral y into dA, that is area of the surface multiplied with distance of CG from the free surface. Therefore, we can write F is equal to, that is a total F, total force on this vertical plane surface is equal to rho g, constant. Now integral y dA is replaced by A into yg, where yg is the distance of center of gravity of the vertical plane surface from the free liquid surface. Now center of pressure, there is a total pressure. This F is the total pressure on this vertical surface. Now the center of pressure is evaluated or calculated by using the principle of moments. What is principle of moments? The moment of the resultant force about an axis is equal to the sum of moments of the components about the same axis. That is principle of moments. So evaluation of center of pressure in the case of a vertical surface is slightly complicated. I will explain one by one the steps. So for the strip, that strip as we have seen in the previous diagram, this strip having area b into dy. dF is equal to rho g by dA, you know that. Now taking moment about the liquid free surface, the top free surface, if you take the moment, what is moment? Force into distance, right? So dF into y is the moment of that strip about the free liquid surface, which is equal to dF into y. So what you will get? Rho g into y square into dA, right? And integral dF into y is equal to rho g into integral y square dA. When you take integration of the moment, integral dF into y is equal to rho g into integral y square dA. Instead of y dA, it will be y square dA, because we are taking the moment, not the force. But the integral y square dA is the second moment of area. Integral y dA is the first moment of area, and integral y square dA is the second moment of area, that is represented by I naught. I is the moment of inertia, right? Second moment of area is also known as moment of inertia about the free surface. So sum of moments about the free surface is equal to rho g into I naught. Rho g into I naught. I naught represents the moment of inertia about the center of gravity of the vertical surface with respect to the free liquid surface. Therefore, equating the previous equation, that is equation number 3 and 4, you will get F into Yp. What is Yp? The vertical distance of the center of pressure of the vertical plane surface from the free surface is equal to rho g into integral y square dA, where integral y square dA is I naught. Right? The equation number 3 is here. It is written here. The total pressure rho g A by g. Okay, when you equate, you will get F into Yp is equal to rho g into I naught, where Yp is equal to I naught divided by A Y naught. Sorry, A Yg. Yp, that is a distance of center of pressure, vertical distance from the free surface, equal to second moment of area or moment of inertia divided by area multiplied with Yg. Yg is the vertical distance of the center of gravity of the vertical plane surface. Ratio of second moment of area to first moment of area. Ratio of second moment of area to first moment of area. Okay, that is Yp. Now using parallel axis theorem, you no need to worry, you no need to study this derivation. This is just for your understanding how we have arrived at the expression for Yp. Okay, you no need to study the derivation at all. Please understand, that is very important, because this is very simple, the fundamental derivation. So please understand that. So using parallel axis theorem, this is parallel axis theorem. Ix equal to Ig plus Ay square. So here I naught is equal to, or I naught is replaced by I theta, or you can write I naught as such. I naught is equal to Ig plus Ayg square. What is Ig? This is the moment of inertia of the vertical plane surface, that is from the center of gravity to free plane, free water surface or liquid surface. A is a surface area, vertical surface area, and Yg square. Yg is the vertical distance of the center of gravity, square. So Ig is the second moment of area about the Cg and parallel to the surface. Now when you substitute for I naught from the previous expression, you will get this I naught, Ig plus Ayg square. So you have Yp equal to I naught by Ayg, right? Yp equal to, that is a, Yp is the position of total pressure or center of pressure. Center of pressure is equal to Ig plus Ayg square divided by Ayg, or Ig by Ayg plus Yg. This is, so obviously Yp will be below Yg. Yg plus Ig divided by Ayg is the Yp. That is, position of center of pressure is below the center of gravity. Clear? This is the second case of the plane surface, vertical plane surface. Now the area as well as surface area as well as Ig values of different plane surfaces, different geometries, square, triangle, circle and semicircle are given here. You may please make a note of this. You have to study this depending on the surface given. This will not be given along with the question, so please remember, memorize these things. Very simple. Now in the case of inclined plane surface, the derivation is somewhat difficult. Again, the analysis remains the same. We are taking a small strip. This is the actual case. Inclined plane surface, inclination is with respect to horizontal at an angle of theta. Theta is the inclination angle with respect to the horizontal. Right? This is the equivalent cross-sectional view of this inclined plane surface. Again, a small strip of width b and small thickness is taken and analyzed. The total pressure is evaluated to be rho g yg into A. Rho g A yg is the total pressure, which is similar to that of vertical surface, but we should note here this yg is the, again, the distance you see. This is the vertical distance from the free surface to the center of gravity, that is yg. Again, all this theta, everything is taken into consideration. Finally, you will get F is equal to rho g yga. Now, to determine the center of pressure, Again, the same procedure, taking moment over the fluid surface and applying the principle of moments, everything, you will get xp. What is xp here? Why not yp? This is yp, vertical. Now xp is the inclined distance. Inclined distance. What we have done here is actual surface is an inclined one, right? We are making that inclined surface to be a vertical one, and we are taking inclined distances. Is it clear? Actual surface is an inclined one. For simplicity of analysis, what we are doing is we are taking the surface as a vertical one and taking the inclined distances at an angle of theta, right? That inclined distances are x, xp and xg. Okay, now that xp is equal to ig by axg plus xg. So the distance of center of pressure is ig by axg plus xg. Similar analysis, right? Now on the last case, hydrostatic forces on curved surfaces. You see here, on curved surfaces, if you take this curved surface, there will be two different kinds of forces will be acting. Horizontal force and vertical force. You see here. There will be a horizontal component and vertical component. The resultant of these two will be acting on the curved surface. So you need to determine the vertical component as well as horizontal component. Vertical component will be just due to the weight of the liquid just on top of the curved surface. The horizontal component, again you can evaluate by considering the curved surface as a vertical surface, right? So you need to take the projection of this curved surface on a vertical plane. That will be the vertical surface. The force acting on the vertical surface Fv and force acting on a horizontal surface. The resultant of these two will be taken to analyze the force on this curved surface. The total pressure on the curved surface, the resultant Fr will be calculated after determining the Fh and Fv. Fine. Now this is the magnitude. The resultant force on the curved surface will be equal to Fh square plus Fe square, the whole power 1 by 2. Square root of Fh square plus Fe square will be the magnitude of the resultant force on the curved surface. Similarly, this angle of force, that is at what angle that force is acting, is given by alpha. That angle alpha, tan inverse Fv by Fh. Tan inverse Fp by Fh will be the angle of application of that resultant force Fr. Okay, so these are the 4 different cases of submerged plane surfaces: horizontal, vertical, inclined and curved. I hope it is clear and understood. Please go through all this and